Hi, I'm Lieve Hansen for the Betty Crocker Kitchens, and I'm going to show you how to crumb coat a cake. I have a cake here, and it has exposed edges all around. When you have a cake like this, it's a really great idea to crumb coat your cake. A crumb coat is basically a thin layer of frosting that covers the entire cake and seals in any crumbs. So I'm going to take a nice scoop of frosting and put it right on top. It might look like a lot, but we're going to spread it all out. I'm going to spread it evenly on the top, and you want it to go over each edge. You also want it to go over the corners, and you don't want the corners to sag. I'm going to load the spatula, which means the frosting goes from the top edge to the bottom edge. I'm going to come over here and spread it evenly. And you come around the other side. You can use the excess frosting that comes over the top to help you frost the sides. Okay. Now I have it all covered. Now I'm just going to go around and smooth it and scrape off the excess if there is any. When the cake is square like this, you're going to start on one end, go across, and then a little lip of frosting will form on that corner. You turn it, and then use that excess lip to help you frost the next side. When you have your crumb coat done, you're going to want to refrigerate it for about 30 minutes to 1 hour, and that's going to firm up the frosting, and then your final coat will be nice and clean. So now that we have all the sides covered, you've noticed that a lip of frosting has formed around the top edge. We're going to come in, and like an airplane landing, we're going to scrape that off towards the center and back up. You can go around the entire perimeter. As you're removing the frosting, it's okay if you see the cake and the crumbs, because we're going to chill this, and that's going to harden up the frosting, and you won't see any of that in your final coat. And that's how you crumb coat a cake. I'm Lieve Hansen for the Betty Crocker Kitchens.
Hi everybody, I'm Lori Gelman and we're having a block party. Make that a building block party. So grab some hard hats and lots of colorful blocks and let your kids turn your dining room into a construction site. Just make sure they don't try to build with these blocks because these are the cakes. Now all we need is a little help from our friend Lieve Hansen for the Betty Crocker Kitchens. Hey Lieve.
Hi Lori.
I hear we're going to do some building, but where's your hard hat?
No hat needed.
Really?
No.
Okay.
This is nice soft cake.
Okay, but it looks fantastic.
So we're going to make some building blocks, and you start with a 13 by 9 inch cake, and you want to make them level. So we're going to trim off the dome, and we can set that aside because we're not going to need it anymore. And then we're going to flip it over because this is the baked side and there's not as many crumbs on it, so when you go to frost it, it's going to be a lot easier.
Okay, we're still going to crumb coat though, right?
We are going to do a crumb coat.
Okay.
Now you're going to have blocks of different sizes, so what I recommend is cutting it into 3 equal size strips. And then, you know, some blocks are square, so you just can cut one of them in half. Okay, so Lori, if you pass me that plate, I'll show you how to do a crumb coat.
You bet. Now we should mention that you chilled this cake after you baked it for about half an hour, right?
Yeah, that'll firm up the cake, and that way you'll have less crumbs also.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm just going to take some blue frosting and spread a nice thin layer on top, and it can extend over the sides a little bit.
And why do you crumb coat anyway?
A crumb coat is basically just a thin layer of frosting that seals in all of the crumbs. Because if you went ahead and you have all these cut sides, they tend to crumb up a lot. So when you apply your frosting, you get crumbs in it.
So you don't have to be too fancy with the crumb coating.
No, as smooth as you can get it, the better.
Well, I came in early this morning and I crumb coated one for you, so we can just swap.
Thank you. Okay, so now we'll do our final coat.
Great.
Okay, so
These colors are so great that you have.
Well, to get really vibrant colors, you can use gel colors. It's a more concentrated color than the liquid ones that you can get in the grocery store.
Okay.
So what I did is I applied some frosting to the top, and then I'm going to go around and finish the sides, and that will create a little lip around the top. Okay, so now this lip is formed. I'm just going to come in and scrape it off towards the center.
You're using your offset spatula, but you can use a knife.
So now we have to build the little connectors, and we're going to do it with marshmallows.
Oh,
Now,
second to cake, my favorite thing in the world.
well, as you well know then, marshmallows are a little sticky.
Yeah.
So a great trick is to use scissors that have been sprayed with non-stick cooking spray, okay? And they just cut right through like butter. So now we're going to frost them. Just insert a fork into the side, and then you take your little offset spatula,
Okay, I have that.
put a little frosting on top, and then you go around the sides, and you just move the fork around as needed. And there's going to be a little spot that you don't get, but we'll fix that once we get on the cake. And then once you have it frosted, you just slip it onto the cake, and then you can just touch it up a little bit in the spots that you might have missed. Okay, and then we'll have 4 on this size.
How's this?
That looks right. You want to put it all the way down.
Okay.
There you go, and now nudge it off. Great,
Okay.
excellent.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay,
You ready?
yes. Touch it down, and then push it off. Great.
That really looks great. Are we going to put it on with the
That's
rest
a
of
great
them?
idea.
Okay.
Okay,
See how we do?
so just slip a big spatula underneath,
Yeah.
and then put it down. I'll take my little spatula just to nudge it off.
Ta-da! This looks so great. Anybody would love to have this at their party. Thanks, Lee.
Thanks, Lori.
Who doesn't love a building block party? Have fun, everyone. You can find this recipe and lots more great birthday cake ideas on BettyCrocker.com. Hey there, I'm Lori Gelman, and this is my very good friend, Lieve Hansen for Betty Crocker Kitchens. How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Are you ready to rock and roll?
I am.
Because if you've got football fans in your house, we have got a touchdown for your big game day party. How about this football cake? But it's kind of a trick play, isn't it?
It's not actually a cake, it's made of cupcakes.
Unbelievable. Let's get started.
Okay.
Let's kick off, as they
So
say.
to start, we're going to arrange the cupcakes on the serving platter. And I do 3 rows of 3 cupcakes right next to each other.
Okay. So that's 9.
That's 9, and then you do 2 more on either side,
All right.
and then 1 to finish it off.
And now it looks like a football,
Okay.
kind of.
Yep. And now we're going to start to frost it. Now a trick, instead of frosting each individual cupcake, we're actually going to pipe on a bunch of frosting
Oh,
and
I
then
wondered
spread
how
it
you
out.
did it. Okay.
So to fill up a pastry bag, we're using disposable pastry bags. I like to fold over the edge. That way you don't get your hand all dirty. And open it up. And then you can just scoop in the frosting. And you sort of push it down like you would push ice cream to fill an ice
By
cream
the looks
cone.
of it, you're going to need a lot of frosting.
You're
for
going to
this
need a
one.
lot. While I'm doing that, you can actually start to frost some of the extra cupcakes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay.
I always love that there's extra cupcakes.
Okay.
That's why you're my friend. You have the extra cupcakes.
Okay, so while you're doing that, I'm going to just start to pipe on.
I don't think I've ever seen a pastry bag that big, like with that big a hole or that.
This is called a coupler, and you don't have to use it. You can actually just take the disposable pastry bag and cut a hole in it that's pretty big.
Okay.
But this makes it a little thicker. And I've actually made a couple of pastry bags, so I don't have to keep refilling it. But of course, if you just have 1 pastry bag, you can just keep refilling it.
How many tubs of frosting do you think you're going to use?
I'll probably use about 2.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more if you're going to frost the extra cupcakes.
All right.
Okay, so I have a lot of frosting on here now, and now I'm just going to start to smooth it out. I'm holding the cupcake in place as I spread it.
Oh, that's fast. Wow.
Okay, so this is almost smoothed out.
Any tips for making it nice and smooth?
I would just use the full length of your spatula. This is an offset spatula. It makes it easier to frost cakes, but if you don't have one, you can use a regular plastic spatula, or even a butter knife would do it.
Okay.
Just got to keep it level and use the full length of it.
I'm dying to see how this actually plays out once people start eating it. Have you ever seen people like grab it away? It
Yeah,
must look really
I've
cool.
done them for my son's friends' birthdays, and they love it. They just get to go in and grab their own
Yeah.
slice.
Kids love an individual cake as opposed to getting a slice of a big cake. They love
And
that.
now, just to finish it off, I'm going to do a shell border around the edge, and I've put a star tip inside this pastry
okay.
bag, okay, and it'll give it a nice edge. To do this, you just squeeze and hold in place until a sort of mound forms, and then you release the pressure as you pull down. And you actually sort of change the angle of the tip. And you just go around the entire edge.
You don't take it off, you just keep...
Yeah, you can just do it in one fluid motion for this
Oh,
kind of cake.
that's really beautiful. I mean, I'm sure that takes a little bit of practice to get right.
A little bit, yeah. But you know what? I have something called a crazy border, which I use a lot, and it's great for the novice. You can use the same kind of tip, and you just go around randomly. Okay, so the next step is I'm actually going to do a little stitching on top, just like a real football.
Wow.
I'm going to use some decorating icing that comes in a tube. I'm going to do one long line across, and then squeeze some ones across it.
Looks very real.
So the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to make it festive and add some color. You can just get some colorful candies and just, you know, randomly put them.
Something the kids can help with too,
Oh,
if you trust them not to eat the candies while they're doing it.
Definitely.
So it doesn't really have to be linear, because I was sort of doing it in a line,
I like
but
it
just
random.
Okay.
Yeah.
Too many oranges
Yeah,
in
I was
one
going to say, we got a lot of orange there.
Sorry.
That's the only random part I don't like. Mix up the color a little.
Okay, good tip.
Okay.
We are so ready for game day. We have our gorgeous football cake, thanks to you.
Oh, and
Looks
you?
fantastic. Oh, and me, yes, the cupcakes. Yay. What are these, though?
Extra points.
Extra points. Good idea. Everything looks fantastic. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Lee. Really appreciate it. You're going to find more great recipes and ideas for all your special occasions right here at BettyCrocker.com. I'm Laura Gelman.